like presences, being taken up in a ball of light, Ezekiel's wheel. You could just go on, Bible story after Bible story talking about what was happening. Now, if we just start discounting witnesses and witness testimony, then we get in an awful murky place where we'd be tossing out probably 90% of the Bible.
There are tons and tons of paintings and pictures from Europe from the 16 and 1700s depicting things flying through the skies.
And part of that chunk of history is in acknowledging the existence throughout recorded history of phenomena like this and the roles that it have played in people's lives, and especially the, quote, native cultures who were open to receiving it.
The Gila River Indian Reservation on this side of the Estrella Mountains behind South Mountain, where they report that they look up and see it all the time and that they've been seen there for hundreds of years. That's why it's called the Estrella Mountains, gateway to the stars.
The name itself is symbolic. Historically, anciently, to the Native Americans, this is known as the crossroads here of the gods even. The Estrella Mountains, where the Phoenix Lights were seen, means stars. And those mountains were given that name because the Spaniards said that the Indians of the day said that's where their brothers would come and go, as if there's some kind of portal or gateway in the Estrella Mountains. And we have witness accounts, by the way, that suggest that very thing.
The lights are called the Sky People. Some of the Native American tribes, everyone is very differently. Some of them go out to seek them, to seek their knowledge, to find out what they know.
And even further, other governments like the Belgian government, the French government, the Brazilian government, the Mexican government have now opened up their files on all of this and simply supporting what we're saying here.
As far as our culture goes, we're way behind actually defining what I believe is a very real reality that a very high percentage of people have experienced.
I saw the Phoenix Lights, and then I saw very large orbs at a later date, 3 or 4 months later. Beautiful color, amber, and knew that they were intelligences and felt the emotion evoked in me was one of great warmth.
It has been reported many, many times that the witness felt that there was something in that light, a thought form, an entity, an intelligence, guidance and control that was behind it, knew that they were there. They could sense it, that they could feel it.
That really set me on a journey for 7 years. The first 4 years of which I actually started looking for a logical explanation, for a source and meaning, for what I had witnessed and photographed. The more I looked, the more I found. Such credible data from scientists, astrophysicists, nuclear physicists, astronomers, optical physicists, and on, that had been studying these phenomena for 20, 30 years. I had no idea.
I've been involved in hundreds of UFO cases in-depth investigation. Thousands of pictures that I've looked at, about 1,000 that I've really examined in detail.
And when you look at the totality of the evidence, what is unique about Dr. Kitai's data, it is the most consistent, systematic, replicated set of information over a prolonged period of time that's been independently observed at various times by multiple individuals.
This is the only case that I know of where this much data exists over this amount of time, prior to and after a significant event. This is one of my favorite photographs taken by Dr. Kitai. Taken camera in the same location, the lights in the same location as the Phoenix Lights, but taken a month after 9/11. The film was what convinced me that the characteristics were not those of these halogen lights and airplane lights and all the other kind of lights that I could get a measurement on and look, make the graph of the different kinds of flares and separate out the color and the brightness. My conclusion about the Phoenix lights is that there is nothing that I can get a match to at the data table. It's not Hale-Bopp, it's not stars, it's not aircraft lights, it's certainly not car lights. For a number of reasons, it's not flares.
If it's not some sort of technology that's made by us, then we have to seriously entertain the hypothesis that it is some sort of expression of highly intelligent beings.
The size of the craft on the Phoenix light display seemed to be far beyond anything that we have as a homegrown craft. So my suspicion is that it's precisely what we think it is. It's an alien craft.
Ultimately, it's going to be the people that will sort these things out rather than the government. And the worst thing that can happen to us would be as if the government said, well, it was flares, go back to sleep.
For a long time, since the 1940s, there's a concerted effort to try and keep this material from the public. And one of the easiest ways to do that is to hide it in plain sight. Make it so that credible experiences that come out, credible reports, sightings are surrounded with ridicule, surrounded with the debunkers who try and give prosaic explanations for something which just defies explanation.
There is a small percentage things that cannot be explained.
But even if it's only 1% that can't be explained, or if it's 1/1000th of 1%, that's enough. It only takes one.
The Phoenix lights are tremendously significant because they're another wake-up call for people who are skeptical or people who are secretly wondering what it's all about. And the Phoenix lights were so visible, seen by so many, and so publicly acknowledged, even in the media.
If you can create a structured controversy, say, I'm going to let the flare story happen, knowing that a lot of people aren't going to believe it and some people are, but let's see how it goes. And then let's get on the phone and let's call up USA Today, CBS, ABC, NBC, MSNBC, and let it trickle down through the news management that we think this story should be covered. You get your people there. And it happened. It happened in a big way.
It happened fast and turned a lot of heads, made worldwide news, and then it was denied.
Why wouldn't all these news media people who are in a perfect position to investigate all this, why aren't they the least bit curious? Why don't they want to know what it is?
Look what happened in '52 when all those craft flew around the Capitol building and everybody went, 4,000 people saw them and looked up and went, oh my God, oh my God. Nothing happened. The word barely got out across the country. That's not true anymore.
The Phoenix Lights is the first case, that's the first case where there was chat rooms about it. Microsoft Network Forums had a weekly chat room about the Phoenix Lights.
It was the Phoenix Lights website I had gone to, and the first thing I thought was just like the color and the shape of the lights. It was just like, this is what I